So in this video we're going to make a booster seat so that I can drive the car.
So first things first, the unboxing. First thing I unboxed was this little lollipop. It says, have a treat on Indy seat. See what they did there? Strawberry flavoured, if anyone wants to know the flavour of the lollipop that was given to me in the Indy seat box. So the Indy seat, as described on the internet. This kit uses a vacuum casting bag with a unique bead and quick cure resin mix, making it a simple and professional seat system to fit any driver into any race. The Indy seat kit provides a driver with an individual seating solution for the optimum racing position, support and safety. Materials used in the kit have been extensively tested at an FIA laboratory to ensure they meet the correct requirements for motorsport use. Used in all categories of motorsport, including Formula 1, GP2, BTCC, WTCC, GT, LMP, Radicals and Catrions. And now, Novas. Yeah! So yeah, basically it's a booster seat. It's a little booster seat. What was happening was when me and Pip do races in the road sports, or any two-person race, I had to bump myself up with cushions, and bumping myself up with cushions meant I was more forward in the seat, which is good, but then you had less side support. We really just wanted a solution which was quick, because I was using like 3 or 4 cushions, which is hard to take out. It meant I had to start the race because I had to carefully position them. So this was the solution. This kit contains casting bag with filter and on-off valve. On-off valve. We'll come back to the on-off valve at the end of the video, I think. Impact absorption beads. Quantity depends on size of the kit. Now I think we got like the 40-litre one. We weren't sure. We did know, all we knew was that I had to go quite a long way forward for the seating position to be right. So we got 40 and hope for the best. Resin and hardener. Resin has colourful dye to assist mixing. It did. Funnel, measuring jug and mixing stick. Probably was in there. Hose for a vacuum. Again, that was rubbish. An instruction manual, which they have not printed to save the trees, so we had to print it off ourselves. And the instruction manual was like, everything was bold and like, it was really small font. So I've got dyslexia, and sometimes the like words jump about, only ever sometimes. This instruction manual did everything to make my eyes, to make the words just jump about all over the place. It was horrible to read. I had to get Pip to read it to me because I just couldn't look at it for like more than a minute. It was horrible. So anyway, that's what we got in the kit. The next thing, start doing it. So we did read the instructions really carefully. Figure out racing position. First of all, it was figuring out the seat position. So you want to be in a really good seat position, or you want to know what your good seat position is. So you want to be able to touch the pedals, always a good thing, and have a little bit of a bend in the knee, but not too much of a bend in the knee on like full extension and stuff. So if your wrists are on the steering wheel, then you can do full lock. You want your eyes to be in front and your vision to be where it needs to be. There's like whole videos and stuff on your seat position. It is quite critical. So we had a bit of a play around with that, wanting to know where we needed a lot of packing. You know, I needed to bring forwards, my back needed to be forwards, around the sides as well, because I wanted that support, because essentially I'd been relying on my abs to support me upright during a corner, and they ain't been supporting me. It's tiring to have to support yourself in a car whilst it's being flung around. That was the first stage, was to figure out racing position. So then the next stage was dry run. So you had to get the bag out, spread the bag out, try and figure out how to attach the hose to the on-off valve, just sort of familiarise yourself with the equipment. So I had to be in full race gear, so I had to have the shoes and the race kit and the helmet and everything. I didn't have my hands device, but I had everything else. And I was just in my race kit going like do 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 do. I probably looked a little bit like a racing driver. That's what people thought when they passed. She is a racing driver. So once you've spread it out, you put it in, and then you have to wiggle in the seat to get the seat position right, get the speeds where you want it, keep vacuum packing it so that it stays in position. It's really a sort of tester, you got to really test it out. And then you draw around specific markings so that it's easier for when you lay it back out, you can sort of crumple it back in easier. And we did this twice. So we had a dry run twice. So I wasn't quite confident on the second run. I was like, yep, we are going to do this again. A little bit of different markings. It definitely felt better the second time. I was all geared up. I was like, yes, we can do this now. So once you've done the dry run and you've spread it back out, you've got all your markings on it, you are ready for resin time. So this is the real thing. This is it. This is the moment. You put the blue resin in, and then you have to like mold it and knead it and make it all like, it's really helpful being blue because you can then see where it all is. And then you put the hardener in, and then you put the water in, and then you put all of the things that it says to put in and the measurements that it says for your particular thing. So 40 litres. There was a table, we followed the table. It was like cooking, we followed the instructions to a T. As soon as you do that, the clock starts ticking. So we had like 20-25 minutes, I think it was, till it like fully hardened. So once you did it all, you had to then run to the car. You probably could have walked, you had time, but we ran to the car, and then you have to follow your lines. There's about 2 lines on it at this point, so it was a little bit difficult. So we had to like mold it into lines and then get in as soon as, I had to sit in as soon as possible. Pip had to then try and vacuum pack it. But every time he tried to vacuum pack it, beads just went to the on-off thing and got stuck. So it was really difficult to vacuum pack it. And then I was like, oh, there's more needed in my shoulder. And he's like, whereabouts? And I'm like, I don't know, but time's running out. Go, go, go. I was not very good at communicating what I needed, where I needed it, and it was really stressful all round. And then I had to sit there in my consequences, just sit and think, is this correct? Is this giving me enough support? It was very intense. And it's quite an expensive kit. It's not like a cheap kit, it's quite an expensive kit. So I was like, we have one shot at this and we have 20 minutes to do this in. Was the second run better than the final run? Possibly. And then after it cured, so it's all hard now, it's a seat. After that, we had to cut out the belt hole so that we could easily put the belts in. Eventually, we'll probably make them into slots, but I was very much in the mindset of cut a little bit off at a time because you can always cut more off, but you can't add any. So I was very much like, oh, So yeah, so I was cutting it with a kitchen knife. I had a friend over who kept reminding me, safety first, be careful of the knife. Good advice, safety is first. So yeah, then I put it back in. Did I draw eyes on it? Yes, I did. We're trying to think of a name for it. I just call it my booster seat at the moment. I think Pip calls it like MC Booster or something. Like, he's got a name for it, but it's not a great name. So if you have any ideas about a name that we can call it, drop it in the comment section below. While you're at it, subscribe and like the video. So my final thoughts is that it's great. So we went testing, I went to a track day, I went to Anglesey track day, and I was so much more confident in going faster because I was secure and I didn't feel floppy. So it was so good, so worth it. You can pay them to do all of the stressful part for you. Would I have done that looking back? It is more than the kit is worth because they probably get it right for you. It does look a bit ropey. I think because we're in Nova and we're not Formula One, like we're not super fancy people, super fancy racing people, then I think it probably wasn't worth going to the place to get them to do it. Maybe because I will never experience that. I don't know what I'm missing out. I wanted to test it before we covered it in the material and seat material and taped it all up because I wanted to make sure it worked. We will be cutting the slots in at some point, but that's about it. It worked really well. It was stressful. I'd never do it again, but I don't have to do it again for a number of years anyway. That's it, everyone. Remember to drop any ideas of the names of the booster seat down below. Subscribe, like, and maybe watch these videos. There's my racing playlist here. YouTube thinks you'll like this one. Have a great day. Bye.